Hey guys, what's going on? This is NGS and welcome back to VEDA. VEDA stands for Vlog Every Day in April and we are on day number 27. Last Monday. Almost home free, guys. Almost home free. So, for today's episode of VEDA, I just got a rant. I know I've been doing a lot of rants over the past couple of days, but this is something that has been bothering me more frequently as time went on because it's something that it's just, it's the gift that just gives on giving. This is the gift that just keeps on making me want to beat some ass. And of course, we're talking about Konami. Oh, yes, Konami. Now, you guys know that I am not the biggest fan of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I have nothing against the games per se. The one game in the series that I actually put the most amount of time into was the spin-off, and that was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, because it was made by Greatness, Platinum Games. But I want to talk about what's been going on with Metal Gear Solid 5, the controversy surrounding it. Now, it's no shocker to anybody that Hideo Kojima has had his creative differences with Konami in the past. However, what's been going on with Metal Gear Solid 5 is just, oh my god, what is happening with that? So first and foremost, Hideo Kojima and Konami, their relationship is done. All right, a relationship that has spanned decades is over. And with that, you would think that it's just, the developer wanting to move on, cutting the ties of the publisher and leaving respectable, but no, it just keeps getting nastier and nastier the more we learn about this. Now, first and foremost, there is no official concrete situation on what happens between Kojima and Konami. All we know is that the relationship between the two parties is over. Hideo Kojima's involvement with the Metal Gear Solid franchise for the most part will cease after his work on The Phantom Pain, and then going forward, Kojima's going to do his own thing and Konami's going to do their own thing with their franchises. We don't know about all the internal intricacies. We don't know if there were insults. We don't know if Kojima wanted to leave or Konami wanted to fire him. All we have are just assumptions from what I've read. However, there is something to be said from the things we know. First and foremost, the treatment of Kojima by Konami. Granted, we don't know much about it, but all we do know is that Kojima's name has been removed from Metal Gear Solid 5 and from other things around the Konami website. Now, I have heard in reports that they've reinstated his name back on certain things, but it still remains that his name has been removed from Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain's box art. Now, why they would do this, I do not know. I don't know if Kojima requested that or not, but still, that is pretty messed up considering this Metal Gear is his franchise. Metal Gear would be nothing without Kojima. And I think everybody's accepted that fact. No matter if you like the series or you don't, it is the brainchild of Hideo Kojima. And there's a certain level of quality in the games that he works on. So for them to do that for his, what is supposed to be the final game in the series for him, because he swears up and down that every Metal Gear game is going to be his last, I think that's pretty messed up. I seriously do. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop with the fact that they've removed his name from certain things and they've reinstated it, what have you. It doesn't stop with the fact that everything is so shady and we're learning all these things from like leaked emails and something. It affects another franchise entirely, and that is Silent Hill. There was a new Silent Hill game set to release known as Silent Hills. It was a collaborative effort between Hideo Kojima, filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, and Konami. Silent Hills has officially been canceled. Done. No rumors, no speculations. It's done like dinner. Del Toro came out and confirmed it, as well as Konami. So all of the things that we were excited about with Silent Hills, the fact that this franchise, it finally looked like it was getting the rejuvenation that it so desperately needed after a string of mediocre games. And don't deny it, for every one good Silent Hill game that came out, there were a bunch of mediocre ones. But this one looked different. It looked like it was going to reinvigorate the franchise from the vibes that we got from PT, the playable teaser that was released on PS4. That is now going to be removed from the PlayStation Store. Yep. So, with all the goodwill that the Silent Hill franchise has gotten, which has brought in a lot of new people into the series, just on the premise alone, that was a pretty powerful reveal. with you saying that this thing is on the PlayStation Store, go download it, play it, and then you realize it's a new Silent Hill game, a reboot starring one of the most popular television actors, Norman Reedus. I mean, come on now, you don't have to be a fan of The Walking Dead to know that people in the pop culture know this dude. So it had a lot of great things going for it. You had a genius developer, you had a popular television actor, and you had a freaking wicked filmmaker in Del Toro, one of my favorites. And obviously, we can tell that there was a lot more bad blood in the situation than what was appeared to be. Because it just seems like Kojima and Konami can't work together. And obviously, with Kojima out of the picture, Del Toro doesn't see any reason to continue the project. Even though he might love it, he doesn't see any reason. He probably knows it deep down. Norman Reedus has also expressed his concerns over this. But in Konami's case, it doesn't matter, because Konami is going to continue doing things with the franchise as they've always done. If we're not going to get a Metal Gear game from Kojima, we're going to get one from Konami. Whatever that means. A reboot, they're going to take it in the new direction, who knows. And if we're not going to get a Silent Hills collaboration, we're going to get a new Silent Hill game. As mediocre as that probably is going to be. But in the event that Konami doesn't continue the development of these game franchises, because let's be honest, Konami has not been really painting a pretty picture for game development. They haven't been pushing the boundaries like other devs have. Konami, out of the big, like, 3 Japanese developers, Capcom, Square Enix, Konami, they have been doing the worst out of all of them. I mean, you could say Capcom, yeah. You could say Square Enix to an extent. But Konami, when you look at their franchises, what do they have? Capcom has Street Fighter. They can survive off Street Fighter, I've noticed. Street Fighter or Monster Hunter. Square Enix, they have Kingdom Hearts. No matter how much they fuck up Final Fantasy and don't give us any new IPs, if they have Kingdom Hearts, they have a fucking fan base. But Konami, all they had was Metal Gear. And with Kojima gone from the project, how many Metal Gear fans out there are going to actually continue it? Because they're not going to see the same level of quality attached to it. From speculation, of course. Silent Hill has been ruined. I think that's pretty much obvious. Castlevania, while I like the newer games, I love them, the general consensus is that it's not classic Castlevania. They don't put out classic Castlevania. They don't have something for everybody. So, what do they have? Yu-Gi-Oh! And game machines, because I know they do stuff with game development in Japan, in arcades and stuff. But that's basically it when you think about the grand scheme of things for Konami. And it's pretty disappointing. So what's going to happen with Konami? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know. I'm not going to say that they're going to go under. I'm not going to say that them delisting themselves from the New York Stock Exchange is a sign of things to come, because that's more the business side of things. That's more of them probably wanting to sell off their shares to save some money and put them in different things and all that junk. Again, legal mumbo jumbo. But what I do know is this. Something went on with Kojima and Konami, and it affected not only one franchise, but 2. 2 completely different types of gamers it affected. And the disappointing fact surrounding this is that we lost what could have been a great return to form for an iconic franchise. What would have been a great Kickstarter for the horror franchise on this new generation of systems. But now we lost that, and I'm always an optimistic guy. I'll hope that they get another genius in there who can make great games. But with the track record of Japanese development as of late, you're really not going to find too many geniuses outside of the indie scene. Yeah, so I guess that's it. This is the end of today's episode of VEDA, guys. I know it kind of ended on a somber note. But hey, what are you going to do when talking about a pretty somber subject? Hope you guys have a good one, and I will catch y'all tomorrow.